Okay, and welcome to Untitled 13. We're here with episode 8 for Foot Manager 2021. Newport County within the Championship 1, and we're just about to host Blackpool at home. So, bit of overlap there with the sound, just mute that a minute. There we go. Still getting the grips with streaming and playing this out there for this stream and save. But we're just going to go on and go with it and just continue to develop as time goes on and learn the ways around it and just remember little things to do. So, our last game was at home to Tottenham Hotspur in the Cup. We lost 7-2, unfortunately. Not as much of a good FA Cup run as what we're used to in real life in Newport County. But nevertheless, we've been knocked out of the Cup and now we can focus entirely on League One. A little bit of lag kicking in here at the minute. Just getting warmed up with this, getting back into it. So we're just going to close that a minute. Yep, good. Okay. So, let's have a look. He is wanted Sammy, wanted by Cardiff, Middlesbrough, Nottingham and Stoke on a transfer. Rated at 3.5, 18 years of age, French, 76, no youth caps. Valued at £26,000. Needs a bit more scouting. His contract's going to end at the end of the season. Declare interest. Transfer target. Okay, let's add him as a transfer target. There's no harm in adding him. Seeing what our director of football, Tony Adams, can do. And let's see whether we can try and bring him in for the end of the season as our young goalkeeper. And certainly challenge for the keepers that we do have in and around the first team. And this will be good for our long-term progression. We're now going to play Blackpool, who are fourth and are having a very good season and have had a good season in real life as well. Let's just get here on the grips with Yeston Hughes, who is currently out on loan at Dagenham. And Redridge, not having much of a great season overall. He is 20 years of age, Welsh, capped at under 19s level, come through the youth system at Man United, signed on a free transfer for County, and this is his first season of first team football. Set new great receipts record, £170,000. Really good money for us. Let's accept the offer here. Centre back. Okay, updates on Wilmot. Dion Wilmot, 17 years of age, available for loan. Not having much of a great season, but he's still young, showing potential, and perhaps we can bring him into the first team within the next year or so. This is only the second time I've streamed this, so I'm hoping that whoever's watching or those who are starting to get grips with the stream and continuing to watch what I'm doing, then I really appreciate you watching and pitching in. But if you want to watch back the episodes, they are now on YouTube, which I'm hoping to get at least one episode out per week. Hopefully, if not, one or two per week when the time gives. Okay, just get the stream up on my phone. Okay, there we go, just to keep eyes on it. So, if you want to go back and watch the episodes that are on YouTube, they're really, really interesting. You can follow where the journey has come from to where we are now. And where we got a few games left in this league this year. We're only 4 points behind Plymouth, 4 points behind Bolton, 6 behind Swindon, and 7 behind Forest Green with a game in hand as well. Who got promoted with us from last season as well. But as I said, if you want to go back and watch the previous episodes, they're really, really interesting, and to keep up where we come from and the decisions that we made, the sign-ins, and then you want to catch up to where we are on this episode, then I certainly recommend doing so, and that would be really cool. At this time, I'm just going to decline the recruitment meeting and postpone that, and I can always look at details moving forward when they present themselves at another time. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll respond to that. We've got a great relationship. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll go with that response. Not too cocky. No issues there. 6 to 8 days for Will Swan with one of our absolute key players up front and for the team. So it's a shame to lose him, especially ahead of 2 big games against 4th and 7th, when we certainly need the points sooner rather than later. We're still in with a chance to stay up in this league. It'd be great to finish in this league and remain here and build on it again next year. Interesting to see what will happen from now until the end of the season, especially if the board decide to keep me in charge, especially if we get relegated, which I really hope they do, as there'll certainly be a lot of learning curve and opportunity to keep building there. Jamal Baptiste has now returned to West Ham. He's declined to extend his loan till the end of the season, although he was getting plenty of game time, and he could have used it until the end of the season to his advantage, maintain that fitness, build on his experience, showing his loyalty to Newport County. But now he's going to go back in the under-23s, and chances luck at West Ham. We'll see whether another loan opportunity comes in for him. Courtney Watson, Matthew Craig, let's move from reserves to the first team. Charlie Passmore from 18s. Okay, he's available, Courtney. Okay, let's move him, if he's available, into our first team, 19 years of age. Okay, let's also move Matthew as well. Create those options and challenges. Yep, let's move him. Okay. Chris Tate just finished his scouting. 75, under 18s. Okay, let's add him there. Let's chance it. What I always do, yeah, I could have looked at these players in a bit more depth. But let's just add them as transfer targets for end of their contracts. Let's chance it. Let's see what we can do, especially with players coming from the likes of Celtic. And whether we can negotiate a contract for them, then we can certainly go in and say, look, there's a contract. Then we can evaluate their technical areas or their attributes in further detail. We can look at more of their history, their performances this year, their reports, where they fit in our squad compared to the other players, the pros, the cons, recommendations, wages. So we can. It's better for me. It's better to try and put them down as end of season target, and let's try and approach it. And then we can look at whether we want to offer them the deal if they decide, right, this is the deal for me, by going to Newport County, rather than them getting away and us going, oh, we lost another player. Whereas we want to have the decision making within our hands, whether we continue to sign the player, what kind of contract we sign them on, whether we decide not to. But that's what we want to be, in a position of having these players and deciding for ourselves, rather than losing players and then rejecting us. So if you want to go back and watch the previous episodes, what I like to do is just try and get the games flowing, try and give a bit more of a stream, and then over time start getting into the more of the technical elements, and looking at the statistics from the game, and changing concepts throughout. As I said, I'm always open to feedback, and those who want to engage and say, look, why don't you do this? Or those who want to sort of like have a chat and go, right, let's go through this. You could do this within Foot Manager, because as much as I've been playing a game for years and years and years, as with everything, I'm sure there's players who are knowing what they're doing with tactics and changing things, and especially on this game, because they've been playing a few more hours than me in this, and they'll know the game concepts, features, and their way around the platform a bit more than me. So I'm always open to learning from other people, and picking up from them. So, you know, I'm always open to feedback and comments from people, etc. So, just moving forward now, we are currently playing Blackpool at home. We're not off to too much of a bad start, and I say this, and they're breaking away, they're in possession. King's there to pick it up. King is our long-term first-team goalkeeper. I want to try and bring in a goalkeeper who challenges him for his first-team position a lot more and tests King. It's great to have a goalkeeper. Oh, it's disallowed. It's great to have a goalkeeper who's 27 years of age, who's committed to Newport County, who has potential to play for Wales, can continue developing, long-term contract. That stability, good. We're 1-0 up against Blackpool. This is really, really positive. When we get going, we play some really, really good football. And that's what I like to have. I like to try and have a consistent first team. We do have inconsistencies with attacking players or strikers, in the sense of that we rely on loans, and they can end up being recalled, or they can be cancelled, or the players end up having a bigger offer, or we need to bring players in on a free. Oh, suddenly the game was in our hands. We were 1-0 up. They've equalised, and now on that free kick, poor defending at the back leads it to a 2-1 lead from Blackpool. But come on, Newport County, let's try and turn things round. Okay. Good. We've come back into the second half. Forendorf has scored for us. 2-2. Very, very positive. Good. Let's do it. If that's what you think, assistant manager, let's make the change. Let's give Watson that game time. Bring him off the bench. He has been out on loan and then in reserve, so hopefully he can make a difference for us and show why he should be in the first team and getting this game time. So certainly let's make that change and get an early change into the second half for some energy and maybe some more attacking opportunity. But yeah, we do rely a lot on loans and free transfers. So it is a bit inconsistent sometimes on the attacking players. However, this is part and parcel of the game. This is where a lot of the interest and fun comes from. How we delve in the transfer market, what sort of transfers we get in, what sort of loans, what sort of free players we're picking up, how we develop in the youth players, etc. And that's where the really interesting concepts come from in this game, and certainly when you're managing Newport County with such a small budget, and that's why it's so enjoyable to be down here in the lower leagues. Originally, years ago, I absolutely hated managing down in the bottom leagues. I just couldn't cope with losing and absolutely hated it, and just wanted to be with top teams, have a huge budget, buy players as and when, and just try and be as successful as possible. Unfortunately, we're 3-2 down here, and it's just, yeah, you on the original Foot Managers, used to be able just to instill a tactic, buy top players, and you could just sit there and just win. And being being younger and having this desire to win and not having this inability to cope with losing, I had to win. But since I've learned to play the game differently and adapt tactics and continuing to learn and enjoy it, managing down in the Championship is one of the funnest saves I've ever done. I certainly on 2017 had such a fun save with Newport County. Left for Swansea, then ended up going to China, being very successful out there, and then working my way into Spanish football, and then back to England and being successful there, which was really, really good save. Really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, we lost 3-2. Blackpool would be very, very happy if we could have really done with a point there and continued building. It's just unfortunate because we're having such a season where we're just unfortunate on leaking a goal in here and there. Look, 1-0, 2-1, 1-1, 4-3, 3-2. And if we were tighter at the back and we stopped conceding these goals, then we would have had a few more points on the scoreboard and we would have been in a bit more of a positive position. However, we are scoring, we are in and around those games. We do have improvements to make at the back, whether it's tactically and with the players we have. We need to take our chances more up front. So we need to work a little bit harder for what we're doing and try and improve our areas. Okay, good. Always fantastic to have another pro licensed coach there, especially developing the coaching and around the club, and certainly being from a grassroots background, it's always good to see coach progression, even when you've brought them in and then you're funding them to improve the club long term and what's working for you. So now we play 8th place Charlton. Again, it's not going to be an easy game. We just have to persevere, work hard, stay true to our principles, and really hope that we get a good result and try to play the game that we're looking for, and whether we can get the point or hopefully 3 points, it will absolutely try and turn things around for our season. Okay, yeah, we do have poor training facilities. Okay, well done, Tony Adams, because another club's come in for him. Now you've gone in and given an offer the contract from us. Well done. That's what I expect of you. Well done. Really liking that. So moving forward now, we're continuing to learn what we're doing. So we have Newport County versus Charlton, which is going to be really interesting. So just really hope that Newport County can really pick up the 3 points here. Yep, good. Let's just move forward here because I really want to work on a first team and get some first team going games going at this point into the stream. Charlton are now up the 6th place, which changes the contrast of the game a little bit more, and they'll certainly be wanting those 3 points as they are pushing for those playoff places and want to cement themselves up and around there. And every point for them is important because they really want to be up there sooner rather than later, or be fighting to get in there at the end of the season. Okay, he's accepted Dundee. Unfortunately, we didn't get him. Yeah, we're going to accept the offer there for Duncan Garner. 17 years of age Welsh, come from our youth system. Not really too much of a big impact in our under 18s or standout to be brought into the reserves or into the first team. So if he can go off and find a Welsh club locally, we'll keep an eye on him. But wish him the best of luck, because I'd rather players go off and have a their own careers and enjoy it, rather than them sit around in our first team or just be backup players. I'd rather them go out and enjoy their careers. Even though it's good for us to have these quality players and have so many in the first team, I just want these. For my moral sense, I want these players to go off and have a really enjoyable time and really, make the most of their career, as you only get one chance. And that's the most important thing for me from a moral point of view. Okay, a very wet, windy, cold, rainy day here in South Wales at Rodney Parade, where Newport County host Charlton Athletic, who are 6th place. Newport are sat currently within a relegation place, looking to fight their way out of this. They need the points sooner rather than later. The same story can be said for Charlton at the other end of the season, who are looking to cement themselves in a playoff place for the championships, and they rather be in controlling their own destiny than trying to wait until the end of the season to get in there. However, we're moving forward now. We're into the game with 20 minutes. Forced to save from King at his closest post. We are looking for an interesting game here today. We have one team looking to cement their place higher up the table. We have one team looking to move out of the relegation places and cement themselves in League One for the season ahead. They really had it up against them this season, Newport, with the resources and players they've had available. They've lost a few players who have been recalled. They've had good attacking presence at times, and then other times their attacking presence has been 0 to nothing. Their defence has been a bit leaky, but then at times has been the most solid defence you've seen at the back. Tom King has been tested to all prevalence of his skills, is continuing to develop year after year of more league games, and his continued growth and training has been really interesting for Newport County. It would be great to see them remain here in the Championship 1, and it'd be so unlucky to see them be relegated, and there's a superb opportunity for them to remain in this league and continue growing and developing as a club. If they get relegated, what another interesting story though. If we turn the table upside down, as County could redevelop. No, it's disallowed. Charlton's heads are in their hands. County are absolutely over the moon. 7 shots, 4 on target for Charlton. 9 shots for Newport, only 1 on target. Newport are looking attacking, and they have this intent. They need to be more clinical up front. A few changes are coming this way. Vickers is going to come off. Telford, it's also going to come off for Marsh Brown. Matthew Craig is going to come on for the young academy boy, Lewis Collins. Three changes all coming at one time for Newport County. They want to get some points in the bag. They've made three key changes up front, try and bring that energy on. Marsh Brown, who's spent most of the season playing in reserves, is now being brought back into the first team and is being given some game time, and that's really good for him to be back in the first team fold and getting that game. He just needs to use the minutes to prove why he should be in the first team. It's broken away. Connor Washington, who originally had the disallowed goal, has gone on and put Charlton Athletic 1-0 up here at Rodney Parade. What an unfortunate breakaway between the county ranks, allowing him to just get past Tom King and put himself 1-0 up. County have now found the energy. They're responding with an attacking move. It was a clear-cut chance then for them. It didn't pay off. The minutes are ticking away. Charlton can be happy. Newport will be pushing themselves even more to try and score. This is really, really important. Newport County will be gutted to have lost this game again. Another 3 points thrown away. They could have taken a draw here today. They could, if they had drawn in the last game, they would have had 2 out of 6 points rather than the 0 out of 6 points that they've picked up. This is not good in their favour. Come on, Newport County. Really important that we keep moving forward here. Come on, Newport County. They're running out of games. Every game where they're throwing away the points, and they could have had a draw which ended in a loss. They could have had a win which ended in a draw. These are all points that are being dropped. Games are coming thick and thin. They are now dropped a place in the league table. They're now playing away against Wigan, the Lactics, in 4 days' time, 5 days' time, who was sat 4th in the league. These are very, very tough games. If Newport County are going to survive, they need to pick up the points. They really need someone to go out and score a few goals for them. They need to tighten up the back. There's a few areas of development for them. If they get relegated, of course, there's big areas for them to evaluate and look to where they can improve, especially to be promoted again. And how can they build on this experience being in League One? What players will they lose for being relegated? There's some really interesting work here for the club to do. For me, if I was in charge of the board and we got relegated, I'd certainly keep the manager in charge for certainly looking so committed to the club. Let's offer him a contract simply because he's Bertigamp. I would keep him because he's shown commitment. He's turned down other jobs. He's a Newport boy. He's developing year after year. You know, he's never managed at this level before. It's only his third season of management. There's lots for him to build on and improve. County should give him the time. If they're going to lose players, we've lost him, second player that we've lost out to, but fair enough. If they're going to lose players, then one of the best things that they can do is certainly have that stability by keeping the manager in charge, which is one of the most important things. Blackburn have made an offer for him. That's more money than we have available because they want to sign him now. We've offered him a contract for the end of the season. So Newport County have a very limited budget, very limited resource. They've lost 2 players which they've approached to sign within recent days to other clubs in Scotland, which has been very unfortunate. They could lose a goalkeeper now who is about to sign, who could possibly sign for Blackburn Rovers, a club who are in the leagues above. They do have more resources, so Newport aren't reliant on the loans. They are reliant on their scouting and recruitment department. And it's really interesting to see what players and how Newport County are going to sign. So, really interesting. There you go. There's a bit there as if I was commentating or reviewing the situation. If I wasn't involved in the club, if I wasn't a manager. But yeah, if I'm putting this back in the perspective of it now, you know, it's going to be really interesting. I keep saying this. Look, we've lost another player there. He's now decided to sign for Blackburn Rovers. who are in the Premier League. They ended up getting promoted. I loved Blackburn back in 2008 when they were in the Premier League. There was just something about them. I loved their badge, and I loved the kit that they had, and they had some great players. And they certainly had some good games over the course of the seasons they were in the Premier League. And it's just one of those clubs who, for me, fitted in the Premier League. That they should have been just outside those relegation places, and they should have remained up. And it's good on the game that they've gone back up. Obviously, back then, if you remember the stories of Steve Keane and how he ended up getting into the management job and the Venkies and the kind of contract that he was offered, and he's gone on to have a real different career since, being out of the limelight and going on to manage a national team. And how very different is that from, managing your typical Blackburn Rovers, coming through in the coaching team, to managing a national side after you were ousted by your own fans down up at Blackburn. But there is something really, that concept about the club which is fascinating in its own way, and especially when they had those kind of owners. And it was such a shame for what happened at Blackburn and how they got relegated, and the trouble that the Venkies caused, from what I recall. It's good to try and see the club have that bit more stability these days, and I wish them the best of luck, as I do with any club in the leagues. And it's always interesting to see what's happening down in the Championship and how clubs are going to get promoted, what clubs are going to come up, etc. So it's going to be brilliant. Yeah, okay, he's going to go to Aberystwyth. Best of luck. You know what? We've given an opportunity to a player. Hasn't worked out here for him at Newport County. However, we can say we've developed another player for the game. He remains in the Welsh system now. He's gone off to a Welsh club. There's opportunity for him to grow and develop. So it's really good that we've given this boy an opportunity, and we can say, look, here was your platform. Go on, make the most of it and enjoy it, because that's what I would expect from my coaching team and my academy. Let's bring in Mitchell Bertigamp, son of Dennis Bertigamp. He's now getting on a little bit, this lad. He's 24 years of age. He's going to sign at the end of the season. He's only had 56 league games to his name. He could be a complete flop. That's why he's only going to sign a one-year contract. However, as a manager and someone in charge of Newport County, I think saying, look, we had Dennis Bertkamp's son play for us is just a cool concept within itself. And say, look, I managed him, and sort of getting to know Dennis as a manager within the game and his legacy. If this happened in real life and I was Newport manager, there's contacts to be made, and perhaps work to be done in the commercial and community elements in that by having him in, and benefits Newport County. So as much as this game is a bit of a game, well, obviously is a game and is a bit of fun, there's if you put your real thinking hat on and think of real life and the concepts which you will bring, which is the absolute fascination of Foot Manager, then it combines real life and game and sort of things that I would do, etc. So it's really interesting, and football and real life and playing this game is everything which you want to happen. It's certainly something I definitely want to happen, and absolutely love Newport County, absolutely love football, absolutely love coaching, and love the game of Foot Manager. And I always have such an optimistic outlook and try to relate real life with game, etc. Unfortunately, here we now found ourselves 1-0 down to Newport County. Not very good there on a goal kick. Intercepted really well. Player came in to intercept, whereas our player didn't come in to receive. Picked up, played in the midfield, broke the line, got through the centre backs and went on to score. Well done to Wigan. This is going to be a very tough game for us. Lots of very tough games. If I'm being realistic, I can see ourselves getting relegated this year, which is going to be so unfortunate. I really hope the club keep me in charge and I can build on everything that I've done, and they allow me to stay in charge long term. And I hope to get promoted again with the club. But if not just promoted, but I would like to sort of go, look, we won the title this time round, and look at what players we can sign and the improved budget. The club have invested in a wider coaching team and investing in coaching badges, and there is external stuff behind the scenes, which many of the fans wouldn't see, or you wouldn't see in, it wouldn't be out there like, oh, County are sat fourth, for example. These are big elements for the club, and it is growth, and I have contributed to that as manager here. So for me, that's one of the most interesting things. What can we do here in Newport County? Can there be more commercial aspects? How do we improve the finances? How does the club keep improving? Stadium, training facilities, category status for the academy, number of coaches got in, the quality of coaches, then the first team players. What kind of players are coming through our youth academy? What loans we taking on? What affiliates do we have above as a parent and then a feeder? How we developing players, and that's where the real interesting concepts of this game come from. Unfortunately, we find ourselves 3-0 down here against Wigan, who are playing some very good football and deserve to be 3-0 up, and this is going to be a massive 3 points which will help them in their journey to fighting for promotion to the league above. Another 3 points potentially lost here for Newport County, which is such a great shame. We're absolutely getting dicked on here today. 4-0 up from Wigan is such an unfortunate position to find ourselves in. We just really hope that Newport County can turn things around. Collins has hit the post. It would have been good for him to have got the goal and for us to have got a goal in this game. Swan, he should have took a shot earlier. Should have gone for the bottom post of the goalkeeper. We should have done better there. Unfortunately, we haven't. We're going to just make a few changes, just chuck a few different players on. While we got the Lugs at 3-0 down, let's have some rotations, let's give some players some game time, and let's see how we're going to go in this capacity. Come on, Newport County, let's keep going. Swan, good defending there from Wigan. That's why they're not letting goals in. That's why they're sat towards the top of the table. Come on, County, let's get a goal in at least. It'd be good for us to try and score some goals. Back to my point, a little while ago in this stream, I like to try and have a consistent first team, build around the players who've been here the longest. Likes of Tom King, long term. Shepherd, who's going to be here long term. Scott Bennett, Matty Dolan, Aaron Lewis. Hopefully Jack Evans, Josh Ian, and that's the absolute core of the team. So if Swan's loan gets cancelled, or we can't afford to bring him in, or he doesn't want to come back, then we've got all these core players which we can just replace over time naturally. So for example, if Dolan's form ends up dropping and we don't feel it's sufficient enough to offer him a contract, or we can't afford to, or he may end up having an offer from another club, then we can just build around the players that we do have by having this consistency, and certainly trying to utilise the transfer market and certainly the academy system and players that we have available. So we're just going to move forward here and just hopefully get past this game. Another 3 points and loss on the bag. Not too happy as a manager, not happy for the players who are now seeming very demotivated, apart from one or two who are now seeming motivated. Fans aren't going to be happy. We now have Leyton Orient away from home in a week's time. Work to do on a pitch. 7 days gives us plenty of time to sort of wrap up the areas we want to and make improvements. And let's hope we can go away from home and pick up the 3 points. We now found ourselves 4 points behind 21st place MK Dons. We're now 8 points behind Ipswich with a game in hand. We're just outside of relegation. So we need a real solid run from here, from now until the end of the season. And we need to hope that teams in and around us and above us slip up, and that we clinch a place to stay up at the end of the season. Unfortunately, I do see a relegation coming on, which is not something I wanted to do, as I wanted to have really as a manager, especially so early on in my career. And it's certainly not what I want to do here at Newport County. But hopefully we can get promoted again, get behind the team, and let's do it. Okay, good, okay. Yeah, this is the same case as Newport County in real life. They currently have a playoff final on Monday, which is going to be really, really interesting. So they could end up in League One, and if they do, what kind of loan players will return, what kind of loan options will open up, what commercial opportunities the status of the playing pitch, because they currently share it with Newport County Dragons, and that's owned by the WRU. Their training facilities, how will this look? What budget's going to be available for Mike Flynn and the first team, and what investments can he make? The challenges of being up in League One. What's the short-term plan? What's the long-term plan? What's the objectives? What's the vision? Are we just going to go with it and see whether we can persevere and remain in the league for the first season, and then second and third season, is it going to be a case of us looking to cement ourselves in and remaining up there? And if we do after 3 seasons, then we can start planning for the next 5 or 6 years after that, because we would have been used to the budget. We would find ourselves in a position where we can remain in that league. Is Mike Flynn going to stay on a long-term contract after a year or two, or is he going to have another option there, or is he going to find himself staying with Newport County and building a legacy there, where there's so much opportunity to build so much? Or is he going to go to another club and say, look, I've done my time with County, I want to go to a club which have their own stadium, where they have their own youth academy facilities, and I can develop as a manager, and I can take that next step and learn in the world of football in another environment. So it's going to be really, really interesting for Newport County. Newport County is one of those clubs in recent years that have massively struggled, in a lot of different ways. So I'm going to allow you to read up or do some research into that. But since that, and in recent years, there's been a lot of stability, there's been a lot of growth, there's been a lot of opportunity, and it's such an interesting project. And that's why, knowing the club and knowing what has come through to where it is, and playing as here on Foot Manager, and sort of applying what I know in real life, because of where the club moving from Newport Stadium over to Rodney Parade, and where that's shared with WRU, there's going to be some formalities there, which can be really interesting concepts. And we've had a change of commercial director 2 or 3 times in the last few years. The managers before Mikey Flynn, sort of came in and out, and they didn't have great runs, and there was potential of being relegated, and then we had the Great Escape, etc., and we lost our academy manager, then we lost another academy manager, so there's been a lot of changes behind the scenes, and lots logistically, and training kit. Everything's been on the way up, though. We've secured Newport Stadium as our home training. We've secured an academy base where there's lots of growth and opportunity. We're getting players from the academy into the first team. There's a lot more stability. We have a long-term, manager which has been in charge and knows the club inside out, and has helped develop so much, and has continued growing as a manager, and has made us have great cup runs, and we've made some good money, and we've made investments, and he's continuing to learn, how he changes his style of play, and what his long-term planning is, and how he's bringing through players, and what kind of signings he's making, what clubs are we working with, and what are the training facilities going to improve over time, what's the first team situation going to look like, and above that, from the board level, what partnerships are we working with, what commercial opportunities. Our new commercial director has done an amazing job. From what I've seen, our communities ended up doing really well. We have a training kit from Hummel, which has also been with the likes of Everton this year up in the Premier League, and they've done some really nice kit, which was better than the FBT stuff that was supplied to County in recent years. Although the FBT top last season was really nice. But yeah, it's certainly, it's been a nicer training kit, and logistically there's been a lot going on behind the scenes where there has been such growth, and it's been really, really exciting from a Newport County point of view, and I really hope that we do get promoted. It's going to be really, really tough for the team. What players are stay, what new players are going to come in, what horizons are there for Newport County, what the stadium capacity is going to be, are we going to attract more fans, with the bigger clubs that we play, and there's going to be more away fans coming, so it's going to be good for Newport City and the local businesses in the area. Parking, there's massive parking complex just across the bridge, which is, a 5-minute walk in reality. And it's very cheap to park over there, so perhaps there's an opportunity there to work with Kingsway Centre, but it's always good that there is that parking. I know fans do complain about it, But at the end of the day, there was a parking complex which is safe. It's 5 minutes across the road. It doesn't really cost too much, and it's better than trying to find street parking at times. And especially when a lot of it is permit, etc. Going off a bit of a tangent about the actual city of Newport, but being being from Newport as well is amazing. Um, Opportunity for the city as well, and certainly what partners can get involved and the support of the local authority, and what governing bodies, i.e. the EFL, the Premier League funding, and Welsh government funding, Welsh FA, Sports Wales, etc. Can they all get involved? Can they give Newport County the opportunity to get involved in programs and represent and partnership work a little bit more, and what funding is available, and can Newport County get their own stadium, can they get planning permissions, etc, etc. So I think for everyone currently involved in the club, there's a lot of opportunity to continue working to their own degree, and continue supporting Newport County and gaining that experience and being involved in a project that can continue growing, and has a lot of scope, and being part of a club long term and seeing where it has come from to where it can go, seeing you've been part of that, and I think it's really interesting for everyone involved and a great opportunity, and that's why Newport County is so fun, and there's going to be lots of opportunity. But going back to the foot manager save here, going on with the episodes, I'm hoping to stay with Newport County long term, and if there's like 30 episodes just for season 1, because I'm basing it on Newport County entirely, and each season is going to be based on the team that I end up going to, then I think, say there's 30 episodes, so I think if you watch them all the way through and you started with episode 1 and then you got 30 and saw the massive growth from Newport County and the stories that we've been on, from promotion to relegation, perhaps cup runs and a cup win, or the signings or losses, or the amazing games that we've had, legends that we built, players from the youth academy, transfers that we made, etc, etc, then there's certainly going to be loads of opportunity for us, part of this journey. And whether you're watching on Twitch, and you're watching on YouTube on the playbacks, and you've engaged on my Twitter, you've subbed to me, you've left comments, I'm really, really interested in that sense, of how we can move forward, because I'm really interested in the save, and and I'm invested in it, and I'm really looking forward to what I can deliver for you guys. Okay, we do have Bristol Rovers in 2 days, away from home, another team up in the playoff places. It's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be very tough and challenging. They're going to want the 3 points. We need at least to get the point in the bag. It's going to be very, very difficult. It's coming, each game is getting closer until the end of the season. Teams above us are picking up points and securing safety. We need to make sure that we're working very hard. We need to demonstrate to the board, although we didn't go down without a fight, and we were unlucky at times, and this is where the investments need to be made, and that, if there was a few different investments, etc., then we certainly could have stayed up, and there's opportunity for us to do so if we get promoted again. Of course, there's lots of players which we're going to be interested in. We haven't been able to afford these players. We've lost them, and we've got a very limited budget, and that's where the fun of the game is coming in, as well as sometimes the frustrations when you've only got £30,000 for Newport County. That's a lot of money to have available to invest in players in that sense. When there could be a limited budget of only £2,000, but it is very difficult to manage that budget. And we look at the players we have, so I'm doing very well in terms of the players that we have, the contracts, and not compromising the finances as such, and trying to get players in for the right amounts of money, etc. And trying to look after the players who definitely are important and want to play. For example, Matty Dolan and Tom King here, 37 games started each this season. Matty Dolan's played 39, Tom King's played 38, Scott Bennett's played 32, but he's only started 12. But he's got the experience, and he's coming off the bench, and You know, he's a Newport boy. So we're going to offer him another contract. I think he's going to be good to have a. I say Newport boy, sorry. He's become a Newport County player over the years, and he's has that consistency. He lives in the area, so he essentially has become a Newport boy. You know, we're going to get rid of Danny Rose. He's 34 years of age. His contract's up with this season. It was good to have his experience, and you know, Josh Labadie has been transfer listed by request. Josh Mcarone, you know, Chelsea player. I always liked him when he was at Chelsea. Not been too good for us since he's come in, and you know, it's such a shame where his career hasn't turned out well for him. So he's going to go this season. So that's 1, 2 that we're definitely getting rid of. So got Carson's retiring, so that's 3. Marsh Brown we could end up getting rid of, so that's 4. Forendorf, you know, probably won't bring him back in on loan, so that's 5. Will Swan, you know, I want to bring him back in, but there's that risk where he's worth £425,000. He's worth a lot more than we got available. You know, if Nottingham Forest decide to sell him, that could be a good little earner for him, especially being an academy boy. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see what players come and go. Lewis Twormley out on loan, not played a single game for Boreham Wood since, can't recall him unfortunately. Hopefully he can get back in the first team and get some games going next year. Ogden Bungo, currently on loan, out on loan from us. He signed from Arsenal, so you know he could end up leaving, or we could put him in. Okay, just a quick comfort break there, but we're now back, guys. Hope you're starting to following back with the stream and keeping up with the episode. You know, we're back to it now against Bristol Rovers, which can be a very tough game away from home. We've dropped tickets in recent weeks and recent games. It's been very, very tough, and I hope that we can turn things round and certainly pick up a few points sooner rather than later. I think it's going to be very difficult for us with the games coming thick and thin and us getting closer towards the end of the season. Each game gets past us and going forward, and where we're dropping points is going to make it increasingly difficult for us to survive in League One. And each game is pushing closer until the final game of the season when we're unable to pick up the points. So come on, Newport County, let's try and turn things round. Let's try and get some points in the bag. There's a few points where we've thrown away this season, and they've been points where we should have had draws, we should have had wins, you know, and it would have been a different story for us if we had picked up those points and those results earlier on in the season, and we could have kept building. Anyway, we're moving forward now. Oh, we've hit the post. That would have been a key goal for us in this game, especially against Bristol Rovers. And we could have really done with that positive start into the game. Let's hope that we can turn things around. So come on, Newport County, breaking away. Swan, can he finish? No, he didn't get a shot off quick enough. Every game that he is getting, he is continuing to learn and hopefully develop from it. So it's really important that he's getting the starts in the minutes and that he's learning where he can improve. I really hope that he stays with us for next season, or that we can secure another loan. He may have other loan options at other clubs which may be a bit bigger for him, and he may be around those better players to give him the opportunity to play well, or he might have opportunities from other clubs in and around leagues higher. So, you know, it's going to be interesting for him, but he would have done it through the means of Newport County, and that's providing him with that platform. However, I really do hope he does return. Another poor defensive movement from us at the back and structure where we've conceded from a set piece. We have been the better team, but it's silly little goals like that we're conceding, and we're not being organised at the back, and we massively need to improve on our defence. And that is one of the highlight areas, because we are conceding too many goals and very, very poor goals at the back, and we certainly need to turn things around. Again, we find ourselves now trailing in a game which we were looking on par to get a point in. We certainly need to improve what we're doing, and we certainly need to find a goal from somewhere. Come on, Newport County, let's turn things around. Let's keep growing. Come on, let's try and get our principles and the way we want to play out a bit better. Come on, boys, let's do it. Come on, Newport County. Come on, Newport County, let's do this. No, good save there by Tom King. He's pulled off an excellent save there that was needed. Come on, Newport County. Yeah, I knew that was coming. As soon as I clicked on this menu, I knew that was bloody coming. Just shite, absolute shite there. Again, not so good at the back. Let's get the experienced Mickey Dimitro on the pitch and give him some game time. You know, for me, it was obvious that we were going to lose this game. Just felt like we were going to lose it, and you know, Bristol Rovers were doing better than us, and you know, for me, it's pretty much looking like we're going to be relegated. That's the way things are going to be, and you know, we just have to deal with it. And hopefully, the club decide to keep me on in charge for next season, and hopefully, we can have some good fortunes down in League Two, and that we can turn things around. Oh, whoa. Again, I really felt the way we had started there, and the way we were playing, and you know where we hit the post. We could have got a point there. We could have, and we haven't, and we've ended up dropping the point again, and we've ended up finding ourselves with another loss. Telford vows to end his goal drought. He's 26 years of age, no caps, no goals. He started off well at the start of the season. He had an amazing season for us last season, even though his rating doesn't suggest that. Just going to skip that press conference there. There is 11 games left to go. 11 games. 7 points behind Ipswich, who find themselves in 20th. 9 points behind Bolton. Can we turn things around? We've not done awful, to be fair. We haven't just come up and sat bottom of the table. We haven't just rolled over. We've been tough at times. We've really had some great games. And I really hope that the board keep me in charge for next season and take in consideration the football that we played and the budget. And it's always going to have been tough regardless of who manager was. And it's only my third season with the club and third season as a football manager. And I've turned jobs down to stay in charge. And all that should come into it, and there should be consistency, and by keeping me in charge it's going to be easier than getting rid, and it creates that stability and that continued growth for the club and certainly me as a manager. So I really hope that the club decide to keep me in charge. I'd be really interested to stay in charge and would enjoy staying in charge for the season ahead. So I really hope so, and let's try and go from here. So come on, Newport County, let's try and turn things around. So I'm really interested in trying to wrap this up within episodes 9 and 10. If we don't, then, you know, there's a few more episodes going here. You know, I'm going to look to go for another 20-25 minutes within this stream for this second one of the week, and certainly trying to get another episode out. Some of the streams have been cut up into bits on Twitch because of where I've taken some comfort breaks, etc. However, you can watch the full episodes which have been edited and will be going up on YouTube. So it'd be great if you want to watch a full episode back and engage with them, and certainly leave some comments and go on it from here. But now we have Lincoln, who are 7 places above us. We're hosting here at home, so I really hope we can get some points here. Some points get away at Hull will be really beneficial to us as well. We've not strung too many good runs together this year. We sort of have 1 or 2, maybe 3 games where we're like, wow, we're running, and then suddenly we'll be like nothing for 4 or 5 games where we're having draws and losses, and then but since then our form has massively dropped. And certainly we need to turn things around. Going to be a tough. Every game is a tough game, especially from now until the end of the season. Come on, Newport County, let's do this. Bennett snubs a new deal. He wants more assurances of playing more game time. Okay, I'm going to go in. Okay, doesn't want to talk to me straight away. Okay, we'll let him dwell over it for a few weeks. Hopefully he'll change his mind. He seems willing enough to stay here, which is one of the good things. And he wants obviously more game time. And he needs more reassurances on that. He obviously hasn't started too many this year and has mostly been off the bench. But yeah, I think there's definitely game time now for you, Bennett. You're not going to be a first team starter. You're not going to change the game massively for us. You're going to be more backup and rotation, and having that experience, and being there in League Two for us, and being someone who's been with the club for years and years. It'd be great to have you sign on that contract, and there's potential there for you to become a coach for us in years to come. So there's plenty of progression and commitment still from us as a club and for you, and there will be those starts. They won't be week in, week out, but there will be starts for you, and we need your experience at the back. So I really hope he does re-sign. Matt Dolan there, yellow card, crossed in there by Aaron Lewis. Matty Dolan there covering. Forendorf there. Craig. What a finish there by Matthew Craig, from assisted by Dom Telford, who's picking up the assists. Let's hope that Telford stays committed to us and continues working, getting assists and goals, and his form improves and he continues to improve as a player, and he works out for Newport County, and that we can get Swan back at the end of the season. Collins, let's hope that he develops and becomes more of attacking presence. So come on, Newport County, let's move forward. 4 shots for us, 3 on target. We're not doing too badly. When we get going, we're positive. Oh, he's brought him down. Matthew Craig is now on a yellow card. That's 3 of our players on a yellow card. What a finish there from Matty Dolan, left foot. See, when we get playing, we can do some really good moves. What awful English there. We have really good moves where we play good football and we get away and score some great goals. Almost broke away there and scored. Although Dolan has scored, he's rated 7.6. He's on a yellow. Possible change there for a yellow card. I don't want him to come off on a red. I just have a bit of a feeling that he's going to end up coming off at some point with a red. Lewis is 6.6 at left back. Hasn't done too great. Oh, we've hit the post. If we had gone 3-0 up at half time, we would have had a very, very comfortable lead. It would have been beneficial for us to have been 3-0 up. We would have enjoyed that 3-0. So come on, Newport County. Half time it is. Let's make that change. Okay, so Kyle Hawkins there. He's going to come on, and we're just going to swap him there for Scott Bennett. So he's just returned from injury, so good to get him off on the bench. He provides more of that squad depth and backup for us there, which is really beneficial. So we're going to look to move forward now. Come on, Newport County. Unfortunately, Ugbo. I sound like Paul Merson. Every time I mispronounce a name or can't get it, I sound like Paul Merson. But we tried to sign him at the start of the season. He was released by Chelsea. He would have been a good backup signing and rotation to have had, and potential there to have kept growing. Unfortunately, it didn't sign for us, which is such a shame. But now he's playing for Lincoln. He has scored, which is a shame. But good to see him, getting the game time, especially, being a Chelsea fan, as well as a Newport County fan, but being a Chelsea fan, seeing the player get the game time. Oh, they almost scored there. Well done, Tom King, for dealing with that. There's half an hour to go in the game, give or take some minutes on extra time. We're only up by a goal. Lincoln seemed to have increased the pressure in their movements forward. There we go. I knew that was coming. We were 2-0 up. We were comfortable. We could have been 3-0 at half time. Suddenly, we now find ourselves at 2-2. And this is my point proven. We struggled to hold on to a lead. We're defensively poor at the back. We seem to struggle with little decisions at times. Organisation at the back and conceding those goals. And we certainly need to improve what we're doing. Oh, it's incredibly frustrating at times, especially when you're trying to clear it down that side. And Lincoln have won the ball back and they've worked it and they could have scored and took the lead there 3-2, especially when we were 2-0 up. Throwing away a lead isn't great. Come on, Telford. Telford has scored, assisted by Will Swan. That ends his streak where he hasn't scored, so he can take confidence from that. We can be happy. We're 3-2 up. There's a bit of belief, but I thought we were just about to go 3-3 there. Thankfully, it isn't, and we remain in the lead. Can we get it 4-2 and put a bit of comfort between us and them? Let's make a change. Let's get Josh Sheehan on the pitch for Lewis Collins. Okay, let's get some fresh legs out there, someone who can ping in a few dangerous balls, and you never know, we might be able to score another goal in the game as a result of Sheehan coming on. Scott Bennett there, Shepherd, Sheehan, Telford, Forendorf, Shepherd. Oh, it's finished there by Liam Shepherd. 4-2. Well done, Liam Shepherd there. Good. It looks like we're getting the 3 points. A very valuable 3 points for us. We all found confidence in this game as a result. Come on, Telford. Saved over the bar by the goalkeeper. 19 shots, 12 on target. A lot of attacking opportunities here for Newport County. Certainly a lot to do to turn things around. Okay, the game ends 4-2. Great game for us. Great 3 points. Inspiration and motivation there for the players. Some great finishing. Very happy with the 3 points. End of a goal drought for Dom Telford, who had a goal and an assist. And he was man of the match with a rating of 8.4, which is very important for him to turn things round. He is on a contract for us. He's been having a great career since by getting those goals, by getting the games. You know, he's getting assists, he's getting plenty of game time, he's been promoted. You know, he's definitely going to be a championship player. But he can be happy with the fact that he's had now 3 consistent seasons with Newport County. He's getting bags of game time. Yeah, he is 26, of course. He won't be happy by only having 200 league games. But he knows if he stays with us and he maintains form and fitness, and he continues with that loyalty, he's going to look to pick up 3, maybe 400 games by the end of his career if he plays the same amount of games he is playing year after year and maintains that form and fitness. So 3 days time we are away to Hull City, then we are away to Plymouth, home to Cambridge, away to QPR, and home to Swindon. So there is going to be, you know, there's only 10 games left of the season, 30 points up for grabs. We're 6 points behind Bolton, 3 points behind MK Dons. It's really important that we pick up 3 points here against Hull City to continue with that momentum and that self-belief. Another valuable 3 points if we maintain a bit of a streak and run and we get some draws in there, we continue to add up the points. You know, at the end of the season we could find ourselves in a position where we just remained in League One. If we hadn't thrown away some draws and losses throughout the season, we would automatically be above that relegation place, only just, but we would have been in a much more comfortable position than we find ourselves now. We're now playing away to Hull City, which isn't an easy game for any team, and it's certainly going to be interesting to try and get those 3 points. We must continue working. Let's just hope that we can find the much needed points that we are so looking for. Oh. Okay, quick pick there. Demetrio comes in. Danny Rose, let's just move him to our under 23s just to free up that first team. Same with Mcarone, moved to under 23s. Argambo not playing enough. Well, he's out on loan, sorry, so we just put him there. Twormley, let's hope that he can return. Okay. Let's put Louis on the bench for Scott Carson. Give him a bit of experience on that bench there. Jack Evans gets a start as well today, another Swansea boy, ex-Swansea boy. So it's good for him that he is in and around Newport County's team. Come on, Newport County. Oh, what a finish there by Dom. Telford, 37 seconds into the game. One shot on target, and it was a finish. What a bit of found belief for him. 2 goals in 2 games now for him. Let's keep working hard, Telford. Let's keep trying to get these goals. Let's try and turn things round. It'd be really good if you could have your energy and goal scoring presence from now until the end of the season. It'd be great for your own form. Come on, Newport County. Let's turn things around. Great save there by Tom King. Very much needed, important save there from Tom King. Oh, James Berry has found himself with an opportunity, and we have found ourselves exposed at the back, and it's suddenly 1-1. Hull are looking very dangerous. 5 shots, 4 on target. It is 1-1. Come on, Newport County. No, deal with it. Get rid of him. No. Oh, bloody hell. George Honeyman has made it 2-1. Ball back across the box, pinged in. It looks like another loss here for Newport County today. Relegation is deeming upon them as each game moves forward. There's only 9 left after today, which I'm hoping to get wrapped up within the next episode, and then seeing what we do from there. We disallowed, but their attacking presence is looking very dangerous. They seem to be all over us. It's not good. Relegation is looking like it is on its way. Relegation is looking like it's on its way. It's such a shame that it looks like we're going to be relegated. I didn't want to be relegated. I got a little bit of hope left in me. I just, being realistic, I think it's going to happen. There's only 9 games left. I think I don't want to be relegated. Such a shame. I have turned down a few jobs if you look at some of the previous episodes. But nothing counts to staying loyal to Newport County. I just hope that they stay loyal with me regardless of the relegation, and that they, as I said in the previous episode, I hope they remain loyal like Bernie did with Sean Dyke, and that Bournemouth done with Eddie Howe, and Norwich are done with Daniel Farke. So it'd be good if they could stay loyal, like I have to them. So we'll see now from within the next episode whether there will be a continued Series 1 with Newport County, or whether we end up going to Season 2 with a complete new journey and club, which is going to be interesting. So, that's where we're going to go from there. Looks like it's going to be another loss here. It's been a very tough episode, and saved where we're at the moment. If you are on Twitter, it's RedTonto13. If you are on YouTube, it's RedTonto13. My Twitch is RedTonto13 as well. Just try and keep up with the episodes, guys. Any feedback, I always welcome and appreciate it. I'm continuing to learn how to stream and develop what I'm doing and getting episodes up and out there, and my overlays, how I'm going to improve them over time, how I improve fan engagement and audience, and hopefully try and build a little bit of a following and play with those who play the game as well, and just be within those concepts. So well done to anyone who's been watching and been following. I really appreciate it, and hopefully get to see some guys soon. But until then, I'm going to leave it here for the time being, and have a bit of a personal comfort break myself and catch up with a few things. Hoping to get episode 10 out this episode 10, episode 9 out hopefully by the end of the weekend. And just going to go from there, guys. But thank you very much. Enjoy your evening. Stay safe. And again, it is Red Tonto 13. So thank you very much. Take care. Stay safe. See you soon.